Oh, they turned it on.
Good evening. The council will come to order. We'd all please rise. We led in prayer by Alderwoman Stacy Gould.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen. Alderman Singh, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you could all please remain standing for a moment. The city lost someone who has served their city for a number of years on the Personal and Pension Board. Richard Maroli died. His funeral services were today. Treasurer Mike Gualtieri and I did travel down to New Haven and down to Brantford to attend those services, but he assisted us in a very meaningful way. Particularly, we were looking at borrowing $145 million to fully fund our pension programs. His expertise were invaluable as a member of the pension board. He was the CFO of Chelsea Groton Savings Bank. He was a highly educated man who had great skills, and I wanted to make note of that today with his passing and state that he will be missed. If you could join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you. I thank you. At this time, I declare Citizen Comment General to be open. Anyone wishing to speak to any issues important to them that are not on an agenda, the time for that is now. Please use the dais, state your name and address for the public record, and each person would have 3 minutes to bring an issue forward. At this time, I do not have anyone signed up, but that doesn't preclude anyone who's still sitting with us tonight from joining us. So I'd invite anyone here who wishes to speak about any issues before the city. Again, anyone like to speak to us about any issues? Please, Mrs. Filberg.
Okay, you've got a little feedback in your mics. Joanne Filberg, 10 Elm Avenue. I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the first responders, public safety, public works, public utilities, for the remarkable work that they did today. Mother Nature flexed her muscles, and she did so in a rather furious way. I think she was mad at somebody. But everything came together. Some people are still without power, but they all came together and did what needed to be done. The other thing I would like to say is tonight starts a new chapter in the city of Norwich. Who's missing?
Men's room.
Oh, thank you. You've got a lot of work ahead of you. Every year, and I've been coming here for 20 years, every year, whoever is sitting says, this budget season is going to be extremely difficult. This budget season is going to be horrific. Horrific. Thank you all for our new assessments that we got in the mail today. Merry Christmas, Scrooge, Grinch, however you want to. It had the disclaimer, do not use this as your basis for the mill rate. That applies to you too. So the mill rate needs to come down. We're all happy that our property values went up. But I'm looking for cohesiveness. I'm looking for people with fire in their belly. I'm looking for people that are not afraid to raise the difficult and awkward subjects. And most importantly, I'm looking for people who will acknowledge and be receptive to the taxpayers primarily, because we are the ones who pay the bills. Whether someone voted for you or not should not be the issue. We need to come together. You've got a lot of work to do, and we need to all come together in order to get it accomplished. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else like to join us under general citizen comment at this time? Again, anyone like to join us under general citizen comment at this time? Again, anyone like to join us under general citizen comment at this time? Seeing no one else, I declare it closed. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for December 18th, 2023. Meetings attended were with state representatives and legislators, Southeastern Council of Governments Executive Committee meeting, Connecticut Interlocal Risk Management Agency Investment Committee, State of Connecticut Indoor Air Quality Task Force, Southeast Connecticut Regional Resource Recovery Authority meeting titled Navigating Connecticut's Waste Crisis, and Norwich Public Utilities City Coordination meeting. I also attended the annual Pearl Harbor ceremony that was held in council chambers. Recent rains caused minor flooding from the storm on December 11th. Mohegan Park Road was flooded and closed briefly. Public Works deployed sandbags to some businesses along the Yantic River, but the river crested about 11 a.m. with no flooding. Preparations were also made for the storm due to hit on the weekend. This storm caused well in excess of 4,000 power outages at its peak, and the Emergency Operations Center was on standby due to high winds and potential flooding. Public Works reconstructed the intersection of Mill Lane and Anico. Thank you. After the tree in the island came down, the tree was removed and the island was eliminated, making the new intersection safer, more compact, and eliminating unneeded pavement. In the spring, new trees will be planted where the pavement was removed. The 2023 valuation is nearing completion. New proposed assessments have been finalized and impact notices were mailed to each property owner on Friday, December 15th. The impact notices include each property's old assessment, new assessment value, and new market value. Informal hearings to review new values with Vision Government Solutions will be conducted during the last week of November and will continue into the first few weeks of January. Information on scheduling an appointment is found on the impact notice to property owners. Human Services, along with Uncas Health and the help of NPU, posted a free Narcan box outside of the Tailfield Fire Department. Many thanks to Chief Jenks and Uncas Health for making sure this partnership with New London County Cares expanded to Norwich. Youth, Family, and Recreation winter programs are open, and residents can register online or by calling 860-823-3791. The 2023 Connecticut Neighborhood Assistance Act approved business contributions have been announced. Thank you to the businesses that have committed $500,000 to Norwich organizations. I've included the Treasurer's report for the quarter end September 30th, 2023. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, John. Other questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you. Thank you. At this time, I declare citizen comment on resolutions on the agenda to be open. Again, anyone wishing to address any of the resolutions listed, please state your name and address for the public record, and you have 3 minutes. Thank you. Anyone wishing to join us on any of the resolutions? Again, yes, please, Ms. Philbrick.
I guess my comments, Joanne Philbrick, 10 Elm Avenue. I guess my comments will be somewhat generic. I'm sure that you are all acutely aware that many of these boards and commissions have not met for 1, 2, 3 years, that many of the appointments are long expired, and in fact, some of the appointments the people have passed on, literally. I am not an advocate of another board or a commission, but I would certainly be happy to be involved in a committee to review the boards and committees and cull the herd. It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. But having said all that, I would personally like to take this opportunity to commend Alderwoman Gould. I have known Alderwoman Gould for a relatively short period of time, and I feel comfortable enough, and I mean no disrespect when I call you Stacy. Stacy is, in my opinion, the most knowledgeable, dedicated, receptive, accessible board or commission member that I have ever encountered. When Stacy comes to a meeting, be it this one or any other one, she carries with her a binder that is almost the size of corporation councils. I don't believe she brings that because she can't remember. I think she brings that because that's how much research she does. So as you make your appointments, I see a pattern here that I'm going to be open to, but regardless of the outcome, I hope that Stacy remains an active member on all boards and commissions, regardless of her official capacity. So thank you, Stacy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you.
Philbrick.
And I'd also like to speak to resolutions on our agenda this evening. And I'd also like to address this on the resolutions on our agenda this evening. Again, would anyone like to address this on the resolutions on the agenda this evening? Seeing no one else, I declare citizen comment closed. Thank you.
Number 1, relative to council appointments to the Harbor Management Commission.
Thank you. I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor, please. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Bettencourt. Is there discussion? Seeing none, for the members of the public, the 2 people being appointed to the Harbor Management Commission for a term to expire December 1st, 2025 are Alderman Mark Bettencourt and Alderwoman Stacy Gould. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes? Yes. Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The resolution 1 is adopted 7-0.
Number 2, relative to council appointment to Dangerous Buildings Board of Review.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor. Alderman Nash, second. Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, again, for the benefits of the public, the person being appointed is Alderman Swaranjit Singh. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 2 is adopted 7-0.
Number 3, relative to council appointments to Public Parking Commission.
Thank you. Motion to bring this to the floor, please. Alderwoman Hayes, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, the 3 members being appointed at this time to the Parking Commission are Alderman Squire G. Singh, Alderwoman Sheila Hayes, and Alderman William Nash. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 3 is adopted, 7-0.
Number 4, relative to council appointments to Recreation Advisory Board.
Thank you. A motion to bring this to the floor, please. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, those being appointed to the Recreation Advisory Board for a term to expire December 1st, 2025 are Alderman Squire G. Singh and Alderwoman William Nash. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Yes. Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 4 is adopted, 7-0.
Number 5, to council appointments to the Sachem Fund Board.
Motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Sheila Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, person being appointed here is Alderwoman Sheila Hayes to the Sachem Fund Board. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 5 is adopted, 7-0.
Number 6, relative to council appointment to the Mohegan Park Improvement Development Advisory Committee.
Thank you. A motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? Seeing none, person being appointed to Mohegan Park Improvement Development Committee is Alderwoman Sheila Hayes. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 6 is adopted, 7-0.
Number 7, relative to council appointment to Rehabilitation Review Committee.
Thank you. A motion, please. Bring it to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Sheila Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, the person being appointed here to rehab review is Alderman Squire G. Singh. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 7 is adopted, 7-0.
Number 8, relative to reappointment of Norwich Veteran Service Contact Person.
Thank you. A motion to the floor, please. Alderwoman Gould, second by Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? Seeing none, the person to represent the city for the Veteran Service Contact Person is Alderman Nash, a veteran himself. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes? Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 8 is adopted, 7-0.
Number 9, relative to a council appointment of a liaison to the Board of Education.
Motion, please, to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, 2 people being appointed as our liaison to the Board of Ed are Alderwoman Sheila Hayes and Alderwoman Stacy Gould. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 9 is adopted, 7-0.
Number 10, relative to council appointment to the Norwich Community Development Corporation, NCDC.
Thank you. Motion to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Sheila Hayes, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Alderwoman Gould.
I'm deeply disappointed that the council has made the unfortunate decision to make the NCDC board partisan. Whether it was under the leadership of Mayor Henchy or Mayor Nystrom, the NCD board was always a bipartisan body, and the appointments to that body reflected the previous year's makeup. It should reflect the previous year's makeup. Alderwoman Hayes's words on the night of December 5th swearing in was, "This is the one night where we are all one for the city." So tonight, we are not all one for the city. This should not be how we start off. The new term of this council, we should be working together in a collaborative and cooperative manner, and making this board partisan and not having equal representation from one Republican and one Democrat is really not how to start off the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion at this time? President Pro Tem.
I would merely add to that what we just heard, that for the last 6 years, it has been bipartisan in favor of 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat, being Alderwoman Gould and the mayor. And it is still bipartisan in that the mayor is still a voting member of the NCDC board. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? I'll add my 2 cents. The position of the mayor, regardless of party affiliation, is actually in the bylaws of NCDC. It's not subject to the review of this board here, the City Council. This does, in fact, represent a departure from an even keel, if you will. Shouldn't happen. Economic development is not partisan. But after the vote tonight, the stamp of this new council is to decide that it is. And it should never happen like that. Is there any further comment? Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? No. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
No.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
No. Resolution 10 is adopted 4-3 for the record.
Number 11, relative to amending the membership of the Council and Board of Education Ad Hoc Committee.
Thank you. A motion to please bring this to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? President Pro Tem.
Thank you. I would just like to point out that the reason for this action is because, to clarify, this is the City Council Board of Ed School Budget Ad Hoc Committee. And the reason for this action is that in its prior construct, there was a quorum of the Board of Ed within this committee. So in order to correct that, we are staying with the three members of the council being appointed, but reducing it down to 4 members of the Board of Ed, so that neither body has a quorum in their own right, but as a committee, they advise the council on the school budget.
Thank you. Is there further discussion at this time? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 11 is adopted 7-0.
Number 12, relative to council appointments to City Council and Board of Education Ad Hoc.
Thank you. A motion, please, bring it to the floor. Alderman Singh, second by Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 12 is adopted 7-0.
Number 13, relative to council appointments to the School Board Committee 2020.
Thank you. At this time, a motion to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderman Singh. Is there discussion? Alderman Metcourt.
At the present time, Sheila Hayes and myself are currently appointed to this committee as citizens. I think we'd both like to keep it that way, to be honest with you. So, while I recognize that, there are issues with 4 members of this committee, there may be issues with 4 members of this committee actually sitting on the council now, I would like to, with that said, I don't want my service on this committee tied to my term on the council. So I would like to, I'd like to motion to amend this resolution to remove number 3 and number 4 in that first be it resolved, where Alderwoman Sheila Hayes and Alderman Mark M. Betancourt are listed.
Is there a second? Second by President Pro Tem. Is there discussion on the amendment?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Pro Tem, please.
Well, I'd like to amend the amendment because there's one correction needs to be made in the last section, be it resolved that the term expires for all the committee members on this resolution is December 1st, 2025.
I'll consider that a friendly amendment, actually, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That would make it a little easier. So we'll consider that recommendation from our Pro Tem as part of your original motion to amend.
Yes. The second would need to say okay, too.
Yep. Could you please explain the impact of this amendment further? You cannot separate the fact that you've been sworn into office and you are a council member, and though if you're asking to be considered serving as a private citizen on that board, I don't think there's a legal way to do that. You're a sworn member of the body here, elect, and when 4 people gather, it's a quorum.
That's an issue unto itself, certainly. I recognize that, but we don't have any, I think the only way, to be honest with you, to do anything about it is to get an advisory opinion from FOIA, from the Freedom of Information Commission, my opinion. Of course, I'm not corporation counsel. But as far as that goes, the meetings are all posted, there are minutes, and it's an open meeting, all that stuff applies. Now, my discussions with council have been whether or not an action of the board where all 4 voted in favor of something, would that obligate the city or not? I think that's a question you can talk about, but I don't think it does. It's still a committee with certain statutory responsibilities. The committee itself is covered under a statute, so the responsibilities thereof. So I just don't I don't look at that as an issue. Again, I don't want my service to the committee tied to my service to the council. I don't think there's a need for it. I know it's something that's been done before. It's caused me some grief in the past on a couple of committees, including this one, and I honestly don't want to deal with that again. I don't see a need for it. So I would like to continue to serve the committee no matter what I decide to do in 2 years, which at this point, I'm certainly not planning on running for anything, but who the heck knows? So so I'd like to stick, so I'm requesting that the resolution be amended in the manner that I asked. And as far as the issue of a quorum of the council being on the committee, that's something the Corporation Council's going to need to work on, as far as there's concerns, but we certainly don't have anything, written in stone on this kind of issue. So, do you want to...
Corporate Counsel, please.
My concern is that whether you serve as a recognized member of the city council or as a member who was not on the council, you are now on it, as is Ms. Hayes, and there is 4 council members on the committee.
I acknowledge that. That's not certainly not an issue.
When we talked, I agreed I would try to get the opinion of the FOI, the informal opinion of the FOI, because the case law, the appellate case law, basically was on the opposite as to whether 4, when you had a group of 11, met a meeting, and they said no because there was not a quorum, but they made it clear in that decision by implication that if the number had been six rather than four, it would have been a meeting. So on that basis, it's my opinion that you will have to comply with all of the requirements of notice that, both the commission has to require and the council. And where it can become a difficult matter is if it's not a regular meeting, then you really can't add anything to an agenda that does not come out in advance, and the agenda has to be, or the timing has to be as advertised at the time. It takes away the ability to enter into some last-minute changes on something that's already been published. Now, if the FOI informally disagrees, I'll let you know, but that's what I think they're going to find, so.
But I don't really think that has anything to do with this resolution. Other than, I mean, the purpose of my resolution, my amendment anyway.
If I may.
I think we're splitting hairs here. Your service has been valuable to the committee without question, and I want to thank you for all the time you've devoted to this. But if there are 4 elected members of the council serving on the committee, you have a quorum, and so then it raises the question, well, why do we have the private citizens now? You see, at the very beginning, this council could have appointed the council itself to be the school construction committee and simply added someone from the construction trade, and we would have met the letter of the law. And we just heard, if you go back to 2 votes earlier, the issue was raised that no body should have a quorum on a committee appointed by this body, and that was the one on the ad hoc committee, so we altered it and changed it and took away 2 board members because they had 6, which was a quorum of the Board of Ed. If it applies there, should that not apply here? I think it does. I think we're dangerously crossing a line where there could be repercussions, dare I say, and the corporate council pointed those out. Whatever's on the agenda is the only thing you can vote on once it's been published. You can't add to it. At the very least, that causes delay in taking action on decisions that are very timely when you consider the timeline we have to follow with the school construction group, the state of Connecticut. I'm just answering. I'll give you the floor right after. I know it's a difficult choice, but when you run for office, you have to make the difficult decisions. We made a difficult decision. We took 2 Board of Ed members off that ad hoc committee. They had served previously, or maybe there's some actually new members. I didn't look at compare the 6 and the 4 that we now have. But again, the issue was not to have a quorum. This provides a quorum, and yet any decision of that board, maybe the private citizens vote no against the council. The 4 of you decide to vote for something, but the majority of them vote no. What recommendation comes back to us? The council's already acted, already taken action, even though it has not come to the remaining 3 members of this board. In a sense, you're disenfranchising the 3 other members of this board by this action.
It has nothing to do with the amendment. What you're talking about, there's still going to be 4 council people on, unless we remove one.
Correct.
There's still going to be 4 council people on regardless. All this amendment has to do with is the appointment, is the nature of the appointment. I want to retain the appointment the way it stands now. And
I don't think you can do that.
I think Alderwoman Hayes should be in the same boat.
You're a sworn member of this council.
It has nothing to do with that.
You can't take that hat off by declaring it so. You will always be a sworn member of the council, and any action you take or any of us take are seen in that light. It does not change that. I really think it's a dangerous thing.
No doubt about that, but it doesn't have anything to do with the appointment.
This amendment is adopted, and then this is passed. There are 4 members, which constitutes a quorum serving on this board. You can't change hats in midstream. You're a council member.
Right, it doesn't matter. There's going to be 4 council people whether we amend this or not, unless the amendment takes one of these people off. That's
You and I
not
can
gonna
debate
change
this all
anything.
night. I think this is
It's
strongly,
not gonna change anything.
then why offer the amendment?
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything.
It does change the appointment for me. It ties it to my council, role. And the appointment would expire on December 1st. And I've been through this before, twice, with the Kelly School Building Committee and with, this.
And I asked you to stay.
Yeah, I know. We had that conversation back then.
Recognize the value.
That's not a guarantee.
Alderman Nash, you had your hand up first time?
Pro Tem had his hand up first, so I don't.
You haven't spoken. Did you?
I'm just a little confused here. No matter what he says, as a citizen or a non-citizen, is gonna tie to the council regardless. He's sworn to the council. So if he says something as a private person on this committee, it's gonna tie council. So is he asking to replace the two of them and keep them as citizens and replace these two with two new people? Or are you trying to say, I'm gonna stay on as a citizen, but I'm also gonna take this spot?
I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
Okay, well I don't see, okay, all right.
I'm sorry, Pro Tem, please?
So you asked, the first question you asked, Mayor, was what was the impact? And the impact of this amendment is to disconnect the term of this council from the term on this committee of Alderwoman Hayes and Alderman Bettencourt. Right? So just to put it in concrete terms, if I or Alderwoman Gould were not to be reelected or were not to seek reelection, or if one of us were to become the mayor in the next election, where we would be precluded from being a voting member on this committee. When our council term ends, our space on this committee is vacated and would be replaced by someone who is then on the council. Right up until we were sworn last meeting, Alderwoman Hayes and Alderman Bettencourt did not have expiration dates. That is the impact. What Alderman Bettencourt is trying to do is retain that status where they would not have expiration dates on their terms on the school building committee. So even if they were not to be reelected or they were not to seek reelection, whatever the case may be, if they're not council members on December 1st, 2025, they would still remain on the school building committee unless they were removed for cause or they resigned. That's the impact of this amendment.
I can only respond that one cannot commit the next council that follows this council that is now in office for the next 2 years. And in fact, I don't think that's clearly the language you offered us as an amendment. So just for the record, you're asking that 2 people of the 4 being appointed not have an expiration date of December 1st, 2025 apply.
Essentially, yeah.
Again, no one can commit to that because a new council that comes in here in 2 years will make that decision, including with the private citizens if it needs or feels there's a reason to do so.
And it can still do so.
I understand that, but I don't think you're addressing the problem. We have a quorum of council on this board, in essence negating the impact of the rest of the 3 of us sitting here who are not on that and not voting members on this board, but we are voting members on this council, but the decision will have already been made by a majority of council.
Right.
It's a mess.
I'll actually raise my hand this time.
Please.
Said we were getting out of control there. The problem, I already explained the problem for me, but in this case, I think, it would probably be a good idea if we solved the issue of the, 4 aldermen serving on the committee, but somebody would have to volunteer to get off the committee. That's what it boils down to. So in order to do that. Otherwise, I'm not sure why this was submitted this way. So if that was such a big issue.
This resolution came to us through agenda setting, not of my request. I immediately saw the issue that I think is a real problem for us going forward.
And certainly there's been, talk behind the scenes about it. I mean, there's no two ways about it, but that's the only way to really, take it all out of play. If you wanted to do that, that would need to happen. So, but I certainly have no intention of removing myself from the committee, just so we're clear. But
My final comment on the amendment would be that I see each person contributes to this in a very positive way, which is why I stated earlier, it is a difficult decision. But I still think it's the right decision, and it's in keeping with the decision we made on Resolution 11, not to have a Board of Education or a council represent a quorum in those decisions as well. Again, this is advisory, by the way. The final decision rests here with the council. But if 4 council members are on that commission and they've already voted for something, let's say they're unified on the position, there's no decision left for the other 3 members to even discuss unless someone changes their vote. I guess we've talked this to death. I'm sorry, Alderwoman Gould.
So I have one question. And no disrespect to Mark or Sheila, but why should I have to give up my spot in 2025 if I'm not reelected or don't run for office or whatever? Why do I have to give up my spot? I want to be in with them and considered
A mess.
staying on the committee. Or, for that matter, pro tem. Why should 2 members of council get a special consideration and have carte blanche, but Joe and I, well, whatever happens on December 5th, 2025, too bad for us, but these 2 get to stay. I don't see how that's fair.
Alderman Bettencourt.
I'm sorry. I mean, the difference here, and I think Alderman DeLucia or Pro Tem DeLucia already brought this up, was the fact that if we say we didn't have this resolution right now, Alderman Gould and and Pro Tem DeLucia would not be on the committee. We need to take this action tonight in order for them to be on the committee. So
That is correct.
Now, in my case, my term hasn't expired. I'm on the committee right now. Their term expired technically right at this second in time. They are not on the committee. There be the difference.
Actually, until either removed or voted to
removed.
be replaced, they still continue to serve.
No, the resolution of their appointment has the expiration date at the end of the term, so.
What was the date of that one? The 5th?
That's the December 5th, yeah.
Okay. No argument.
So that's the difference. Simple enough.
Are we ready to vote on the amendment? I think so. Any further comment? Roll call, please, on the amendment.
Alderman Nash?
No.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt? Yes. Alderman Gould?
No.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Yes. Mayor Knight?
No. The amendment is adopted on a 4-3 vote. The resolution as amended before us, is there further comment? I have a question for corporate counsel. You sallied into this discussion at the beginning of it. We can expect a review of what you had referred to and a report back to us on the status of this decision based on that case law that you had referenced?
Well, the case law, I've given you my opinion on it, but
We're not following that.
well, no, you are, to the extent that if you recognize that if there are 4 current members of the council, it's the same as if you appointed all 7 of you. It's a meeting of the council when they meet, in the context of
Compliance.
It's an advisory commission in the same way that some of the other commissions or committees, really, of the council is, that this council isn't bound by the decision when it comes before the council collectively. But if you recognize that if there are 4 current members of the council, it's the same as if you appointed all 7 of you. It's a meeting of the council when they meet, in the context of compliance. but it has to be conducted as if it were a council meeting in terms of the freedom of information, in terms of other issues with respect to that. And I suppose it also has, as we pointed out, a certain value if all four agree on something and they are more deeply privy to the information than the council is. It's certainly a persuasive issue. What I've agreed to do is to talk with the ombudsman, if you will, for the FOI, the Freedom of Information Commission, and see if he interprets decisions the same way I do. If he doesn't, I will report to the council that there's a difference of opinion. And they may not offer an opinion. It's up to them. At one time, when Tom Haddock was in this role, he was very forthcoming with his views on things, but keep in mind that the ombudsman does not speak for the commission. He gives the opinions that he has in that role. The commission is not bound by what the ombudsman says. It's merely, this is what I think. So, but I'll certainly get that opinion as well if I can.
Thank you. Would it be more thorough to ask for an opinion of the commission?
Well, you'd have to do so in the context if somebody could challenge their ability on the commission and file an FOI complaint. That would be the process. The commission does not have to give an informational decision.
Okay, thank you. The resolution as amended at this time, is there further comment? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash? No. Alderwoman Hayes? Yes. Alderman Bettencourt? Yes. Alderman Gould? No. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Knudsen?
No. Resolution adopted 4-3.
Number 14, relative to reappointment of Assistant Corporation Counsel.
Please, a motion to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Knudsen?
Yes. Thank you. The resolution adopted 7-0.
15, relative to provision of legal services to the city of Norwich.
Motion, please, to bring it to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Knudsen?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution adopted 7-0.
15, relative to city manager reappointment to the Harbor Management Commission.
Motion, please, to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, the person being reappointed is Mr. Michael Gualtieri. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes? Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Knudsen?
Yes. Resolution adopted 7-0.
Number 17, relative to city manager being authorized to execute the First Amendment to a lease between United Congregational Church and the city of Norwich.
Thank you. Motion to the floor. Alderman Nash, second, please. Alderman Gould. Is there discussion? Yes, Pro Tem.
I would just ask the city manager to give us a nickel tour of why we have this action before us.
Yes, the agreement allows them to have 16 spaces dedicated to them, which is overly generous during the week when they don't have services. We are in need of additional spaces in there, so it will generally allow us to park additional cars during the week for consideration of that. Did I get that right, Josh? Is that? Okay. Make sure So that's the,
Thank you.
Thank you. Further question, comment? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes? Yes. Alderman Davenport? Yes. Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? Yes. President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 17 is adopted 7-0.
Number 18, relative to the city manager being authorized to negotiate a contribution from Casella Waste Systems towards the purchase and installation of a transfer station structure.
Thank you. A motion, please, to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Pro Tem.
So this is to replace the building that burned down 2+ years ago?
right.
Correct.
Thank you.
And to ask for their participation in paying for it. Yes, thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Excuse me, Alderwoman Hayes? Yes. Alderman Davenport?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 18 is adopted 7-0. Alderwoman Gould.
I hereby move pursuant to Connecticut General Statute, Section 1-200, subsection 6, that the members of the Norwich City Council go into executive session solely for pending claims. City Manager John Salamone, Comptroller Josh Pothier, and Corporation Counsel Michael Driscoll shall be asked to participate during all or portions of this executive session at the request of the City Council. I hereby further move pursuant to Connecticut General Statute, Section 1-200, subsection 6, that the members of the Norwich City Council go into executive session for the purpose of reviewing and discussing financial information given in confidence not required by statute, as well as preliminary feasibility estimates and evaluations made relative to prospective public supply. City Manager John Salamone, General Manager of Norwich Public Utilities Christopher LaRose, Comptroller Josh Pothier, and Corporation Counsel Michael Driscoll shall be asked to participate during all or portions of this executive session at the request of the City Council.
Thank you. Is there a second? Alderman Nash. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes? Yes. Alderman Davenport? Yes. Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Yes. Mayor Nystrom?
Yes, thank you. We're meeting in John Salomon's conference room downstairs. Council, come back to order. Let the record show no votes were taken during the executive session. Could I please have a motion to return to the council meeting at this time? Such motion, Nash, seconded by Singh. Roll call, Nash.
Yes.
Hayes.
Yes.
Bettencourt.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Singh.
Yes.
DeLucia.
Yes.
Nystrom, yes. Motion to return passes 7-0. A motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Adjourned by Gould, seconded by Nash. Roll call. Nash.
Yes.
Hayes. Bettencourt. Gould.
Yes.
Singh.
Yes.
DeLucia. Nystrom, yes. Motion to adjourn passes 7-0. Thank you. Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holiday, everybody. Merry
Happy New
Christmas.
Year.